Can you navigate with your Garmin GPSMAP 67i when you're driving? Will it keep up with you? Well, the short answer is yes. And let me tell you what I found out in my test. For those of you who don't know, I live in Colorado, halfway between Denver and Colorado Springs, but I work for a company, my day job still, that's on the north side of Denver. I drive up there about twice a week. It's about an hour and 20-minute drive. So I set my GPSMAP location to my office from home to navigate. And again, this all came from somebody who asked the question and said, hey, can you use it while you're driving? And I'm thinking, well, I believe so, but let's go test it. Well, I did, and it takes a little time. I would say probably 2 or 3 minutes or so for it to calculate the route. And then it did, and so I took off driving and went to work. And I was kind of wondering what would happen when I started driving, because it was giving me a route, and then when I went past that route, because you know when you use your phone GPS, like I have an iPhone, and so when I'm using it, it'll give me options of what routes to take, maybe 2 or 3 different options, and then if I go some different way, then it'll recalculate. Well, it actually does that. It recalculated my routes. Even when I was outside a cell service, it works. And that's what's great is with your phone, you're outside a cell service, if you're navigating, it will continue to navigate. But if you try to set up something or navigate outside cell service, you're kind of in trouble. Well, in this case, you can navigate and you can contact, because it's working off the satellites, and then you can navigate. And so it was recalculating. So all along the way when I was going up there, I kept going different places because it was telling me different ways to go. And then I would go beyond it, and then it would recalculate. But something interesting about it, and this is what you'll find a bit important as you're driving and think you want to be on a road and you want to navigate this by a vehicle, or in a vehicle or car or truck. These Garmin products are meant for hiking, biking, mountain biking, ATVs, four-wheeling, and so they're not meant for the highway. And so this kept rerouting me, and I noticed, finally, it takes me sometimes to get things through my thick head. I was getting on the highway, on an interstate, because I was on a state highway, and then I went to an interstate, and it kept rerouting me. And I'll have some screenshots of this, but what happened was it was trying to put me on a trail, or it would put me on a city street. But many times there's trails all over Colorado. That's one thing I love about it here, is they have these open spaces where you can get out and hike and things. But when I was driving, it was rerouting me the whole time to put me on trails. And one thing I noticed when I got on C470 that goes around the west side of Denver up to the north side, it tried to reroute for 15 minutes or so because it couldn't put me on a trail. There was a trail about 200 yards or so that on the east side of C470 that goes, I don't know, 20 miles, 15 miles, whatever it is. And it kept rerouting so it wouldn't give me a solution, because it wanted to put me on a trail. And it wasn't until I got up into the Golden area where Coors Light factory is. I guess Coors has multiple factories. But when I got there, then it rerouted me onto the city streets, but it kept trying to get me off the highway. At that point, it's a 2-lane highway, but it still tried to put me on roads that would be, I guess, less traffic, more safe. Again, it was interesting because I didn't realize that. I thought it would reroute you to even an interstate, but it doesn't. It wants you on a trail because it thinks you're a hiker or a biker. So bottom line, it works. I'm telling you, what happened was it probably was updating every half a second. I couldn't even tell. I couldn't see any jumps. Even when I was outside cell service, there was no lag. It didn't have a spot, and then a minute later it updated. That's not the case. It was updating continuously as I was moving. Now, maybe it could have been off by 50 feet or something, but the accuracy on these is maybe 20 feet-ish, something like that. But it was very accurate, and that's one thing that, to answer the question for the person who asked it on the YouTube channel, was yes, you can use this at high speeds. And the other thing is, it should have made more sense to me, is you can use this and the Mini 2 in aircraft, as you can actually do some navigation or something with it. And I'm not really up on that, but there are pilots who use this, and you can use it as maybe a backup GPS navigation. But also, if you were to crash, or you had to land someplace at an airport or a small grass strip and there's no cell service, you would be able to see where you're at, communicate, or call SOS. So there's pilots who do that. So the speed is not an issue. Now, it could be an issue if you're flying 1,000 miles per hour, but it's not an issue when you're driving as a normal person would here in Colorado. All right, I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, comments, advice, suggestions, or anything at all, leave a comment below and I'll get back with you, because it's things like this I really like to help you guys out with, because it also helps me learn. Thanks for joining me here in Colorado at Outdoor Emergency Tech, and I'll see you back out here in the next video.